Everyone treats pensions like the crown jewel of retirement, guaranteed income for life. But here's what almost no one tells you. That guarantee that feels so comforting at first can quietly lock you into decades of restrictions and missed opportunities if you don't build the rest of your plan around it. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you 4 pension decisions that can save or cost you 6 figures. I'll also reveal a simple timing move most couples miss that can protect the surviving spouse from a painful tax surprise. And if you stick with me to the end, I'll give you a quick 5-step checklist you can run in about 20 minutes to stress test your own pension choice. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Kurt Soupy, CPA and retirement planner for over 25 years and co-founder of Creative Financial Group back in 2004. So let's dig in. A pension is incredible. It covers your basics and lowers the stress of stock market headlines. You wake up knowing the lights are on and the groceries are paid for. But there's a catch that many people miss. Your pension is taxable income for life. That fixed check can lift your tax bracket in years when you'd otherwise have more flexibility. It can also nudge your Medicare premiums higher because of IRMA rules, and it can push more of your Social Security onto your tax return. None of this means a pension is bad. Far from it. It means your pensions have to be integrated with everything else you own. I like to treat the pension as your built-in fixed income. When we do that, we can invest your other accounts more intentionally and we open the door for smarter tax moves. In a minute, I'll show you a coordination strategy that gave one couple more income and a lower lifetime tax bill, all by changing the order of when they turn things on. First, let's talk about a decision that keeps people up at night: lump sum versus monthly payments. Most folks approach it the wrong way. They eyeball a break-even age and say, if I live past 82, monthly wins. Before that, take the lump sum. That's way too simple. A lump sum is a pile of money you must invest and manage. A monthly pension is essentially a lifetime annuity that delivers income without the need for ongoing investment management or complex portfolio strategy. Those are different animals. The smarter question is, what's the implied return behind the lump sum offer? Every offer is built on a discount rate, the return they assume you can earn on your own. If that assumed return is high, the lump sum can look better than it really is. If it's low, the monthly income may be the winner. Most HR packets don't spell this out. Then there's a survivor math, and this one hits couples the hardest. If you choose the higher single life benefit and you pass first, your spouse could lose your pension check and one Social Security check at the same time, while being forced to file taxes as a single taxpayer. Now that's a double whammy: lower income and tighter tax brackets. I've seen this surprise otherwise well-planned households. The fix isn't one size fits all. Sometimes the right move is electing a survivor options. Other times a hybrid approach can be stronger. Take the higher single life pension and pair it with a well-structured life insurance policy to protect the survivor. Not always, but often that combination creates more income today and still preserves security for the spouse. The trick is to model it with your actual numbers, your health, your ages, and your comfort with investing. Now let's tackle the quiet risk that eats fixed income checks over time: inflation. Inflation doesn't show up as a bill, but it feels like one. Even modest inflation slowly shrinks a fixed pension. Even if you are one of the few people who has a pension with a cost of living adjustment each year, many COLAs can be capped, formula-driven, or paused in tough budget years. Healthcare costs, which hit retirees hardest, rarely follow caps. The practical defense is to let your portfolio do the heavy lifting on inflation. Because your pension covers the basics, your investable accounts, IRAs, Roths, brokerage, can tilt a bit towards growth within your comfort zone to fight the rising cost. If you choose a lump sum, you can also build your own inflation hedge with a diversified plan that aims for rising income over time. Again, this isn't about swinging for the fences. It's about aligning risk with purpose. Steady checks from the pension, inflation, defense from the portfolio. Here's where coordination becomes powerful. Social Security. Most people make Social Security decisions as if their pension doesn't exist. That's a big miss. Your pension gives you an income floor, which means you don't have to chase the biggest Social Security check at the earliest date. You can be strategic. A pattern that often works for couples looks like this. Use the pension to cover the gap. Consider claiming the lower earner Social Security earlier and delay the higher earner's benefit. Why? Because the higher benefit often becomes a survivor benefit, and delaying it can boost that check meaningfully. You create stable income now and a larger inflation-adjusted backstop later, which is exactly when healthcare costs and longevity risks tend to show up. In a real-world case, this simple sequencing gave a couple 8 years of additional Social Security income they would have otherwise left on the table. And the survivors still ended up with a stronger lifetime benefit. There's also the tax side of Social Security to consider. Social Security becomes taxable based on your other income, and your pension is other income. So sometimes the best move is to delay one Social Security benefit and use those years to complete targeted Roth conversions up to a bracket you're comfortable with. This is one of the best levers pension households have. Even with a pension, you may have a window, often between retirement and required minimum distributions, where you can move money from pre-tax IRAs into Roths at known rates. Yes, conversions can raise Medicare premiums in a given year. That's not automatically bad. Paying a bit more now to avoid higher lifetime taxes and tighter brackets later, especially for the surviving spouse who will file single, can still be a winning trade. Let's pull this together into something practical. Think of your retirement income in layers. Layer 1 is the guaranteed floor, your pension, and once you elect it, Social Security. Layer 2 is the inflation fighter, your growth assets. Layer 3 is tax control, where you hold those assets and when you realize income. When you design the layers on purpose, the plan starts to breathe. You get stability where you need it, flexibility where it matters. A few quick answers to questions I hear all the time. Should I always take the survivor option? Not always, it's a trade-off. Price the reduction against the cost and structure of life insurance and what your spouse truly needs. Is the lump sum always riskier? Well, that requires discipline. If market swings keep you up at night, the monthly pension may be worth more than the spreadsheet suggests. If you're comfortable with a rules-based investment plan and staying the course, the lump sum can offer more control and possibly more legacy value. Do COLAs solve inflation? Sometimes partially. Read the fine print. Caps and formulas can lag real cost. Can I fix a pension election later? Usually no. That's why modeling survivor income and taxes before you elect is so important. Now, as I promised, here's a fast 5-step checklist you can run on your own numbers. First, inventory the guarantee. Write down your pension options, single life, 50%, 75%, or 100% survivor. Your start dates in any COLA language. Second, price the survivor's life. Model cash flow if one spouse passes at different ages. Drop one Social Security check, switch to single tax brackets, and include healthcare costs. Third, test the discount rate trap. Calculate the implied return behind your lump sum offer and compare it to realistic after fee return you can actually stick with. Fourth, plan an inflation hedge. If you go monthly, decide how your portfolio will fight inflation. If you take the lump sum, decide how you'll create rising income over time without panicking in a down year. Fifth, map your tax window. Look at the years between retirement and RMDs. Identify how much room you have for Roth conversions before you hit a higher tax bracket or a Medicare premium tier you want to avoid. If any step raises more questions than answers, that's your sign to get a second set of eyes. Now let me leave you with this. A pension can be your greatest strength or an invisible straitjacket. When you coordinate it with Social Security, pair it with an inflation strategy, and frame it with a tax plan, it becomes the engine of confident retirement. When you rely on rules of thumb or generic advice, it can create constraints and missed opportunities that last a long time. You're in a fortunate group to have a pension. That also means the stakes are higher to get it right. If you have a pension and at least $500,000 saved, here's a simple next step. Book a short call using the link below. In about 20 minutes, we'll see if it makes sense to run a focused pension optimizer analysis, lump sum versus monthly, survivor protection, Social Security timing, and a bracket-by-bracket tax plan. No jargon, just numbers and your goals. I'm Kurt Soupy, CPA. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.